You can't smell that?
Oh no, I smell it.
Like my mouth is scared.
Listen.
She's been scared before.
I'm gonna do our intro and then we're gonna take this shot. So hello and welcome to the Beauty Ritual Podcast. We facilitate conversations about age, beauty, and identity in a world where the pressure to conform rises every day. This is your dose of perfection correction. And I'm your host, Eva, with my guest, Robyn.
It's me.
Yeah, we're about to go.
Hey, look, we need to say Nostrovia.
Nostrovia!
Pair of poles.
That's true.
That's us.
We're gonna go somewhere the podcast has never gone before, okay? And we're starting that off with this nice little...
Nostrovia.
Oh, this nice little, for those of you listening and not watching.
It's fine. Is it? I don't know.
For those of you listening, we just took a shot of tequila.
Oh! I put hairs on my nips.
And it took half my makeup off. Because apparently I don't know how to take a shot. I just know how to take a shower.
Yeah, it's not my favourite tequila I've ever drunk, I can't lie, but you know.
Well, I'm alive.
Yeah.
And
alive and kicking.
I like that. Listen, we launched into this, no bio, and what I know of you is this.
Tell me, Queen, what do you know?
Okay. I know you're a badass.
Thank you.
Trainer. You work at Rumble. Mm-hmm. You can box like nobody's business. I don't think there's a girl out there that can hold mitts the way that you do.
I appreciate you.
Very much in demand.
I appreciate you.
I think that you have an incredible skill for building up people's confidence, and part of that is you expressing confidence yourself.
That actually is enough to make me cry, and we've only been talking. How long is it going to take for tears? Because like that is my thing. I'm a crier. I appreciate that so much. That means a lot. It really, truly does. It means a lot. This confidence is important, and it's something that's, something that I try to give to all my clients. So I really appreciate you acknowledging that.
Well, it's received because it's real.
Thank you.
I think that over time, having known you a little bit, it's interesting you say that. I think that you have like such a big heart because you like immediately want to like cry, but you bring me so much joy. Like I actually think you are like the purest form of joy in a person.
Again, are you trying to make me cry?
No, I'm trying to make you explode.
She's like,
into
what
joy.
can I do to tug on this girl's heartstrings?
Okay.
I appreciate that so much.
Today's the last day that you cry.
Yeah, that's it.
Can you promise me that?
No.
You're gonna walk out of here, this is the last day you cry.
Babe, I cried the other day watching my friend get into an ice bath because I knew that she was going through something emotionally. I cried at my friend getting into an ice bath. Like, I'm such a big softie. Like, I wear my heart on my sleeve in a lot of ways. Sometimes I can maybe have a harder shell than people realize, but like I am definitely a softie, and like the words joy and energy and all these things, I think they are like, if I would like to be anything, it's those things. And I just think the energy that you bring into the world can be such a gift to people, and like I always try and be that. So for you to say that I bring joy to your life or bring good energy into your life, that's just like, well, I'm going out and doing what I want to do and who I want to be, and I'm like, people are seeing that. So
that's badass.
Thank you for validating all the things that I'm trying to be, because if you can do anything in the world, it should be to make someone else's day a brighter day, and then your day will be a brighter day, Your day is going to be a brighter day if you can make someone else smile.
But you're living your purpose, and that's badass.
I feel like I truly am, especially in the past, I don't want to say the past 2 years, I feel like in the past 2 years has been the time that I've started actually focusing on that and actually showing up for myself. And to show up for myself, it has meant that I've been able to show up for other people in a way that I feel... I always thought I was showing up for other people, but I was doing it to my own detriment. So really, I wasn't showing up for other people, truly. Whereas
Wait,
now...
say more about that. I got it, but I'm like, I want to know more.
I think when you are doing things for other people constantly because you feel like you have to, or you feel like you're letting someone down, or you feel like, you know, you can't say no to something in case someone doesn't like you or someone judges you, then, you know, I could be showing up to a birthday party for someone with the fear that, like, if I don't go, even though I'm tired, even though I've done 12 sessions that day, even though, like, I don't know, I don't have the money, I'm not fit, like, all these things, you're showing up for that person even though you don't want to, but really, like, you're not bringing the right energy. You know, like, you're not in your zone. You're not bringing, like, who you really are. If I'm fucking tired and I don't want to go to a birthday now, I'm not going. And, like, that's because I need to protect my energy, and that means when I can show up for you and when I can do these things, like, then I'm bringing something that's genuine and real, and I'm showing up with authenticity.
Why do we do that? Is this
we just do
insecurity?
it. We just do it, and you know, sometimes we can let people down by showing up for ourselves.
100%.
But the true friends and the true people that should be in your life, like, they aren't let down when you say, I need to choose myself right now.
That couldn't be truer.
So choosing myself, which I have done I went through a breakup. I was with someone for 11 years, and I put a lot into someone else's needs for a long time. And I left, and I was like, actually, hang on. I think it's time for me to do what I want to do. And I have lost friends in that process. Not through, you know, a big fallout or a big argument, but, like, during that process, I made mistakes. I did things. And some people don't want to stick with you through the hard shit and show up for you.
No.
And some people don't like it when you change and evolve and start to be that person who says, no, actually, no, I want to go and do this for myself today, so I am not coming and doing this for you.
But it makes it easier to know who's for you.
Facts!
It's not confusing.
My friendships have changed, and my friendship groups and the people who I spend time with, since I started truly putting some damn work into myself, my friendships are completely different.
I honestly think, as much as it's hurtful, it's a gift. You don't have to be confused and spend time pulling apart all of these threads of, is this person meant for me?
Do they like me? Are they annoyed at me? Have I let them down? I don't want to let people down, and I will always try my best to show up for people, and I believe that I truly do show up for people, but I think now I don't do it to my own detriment. Circling back to, I think that was the point. I don't...
Circling back to, boundaries are sexy.
Boundaries are fucking hot, man. I'm like, yeah, do you know what, actually? You're not allowed to speak to me like that. And I will tell you. See what I mean? Softly, but I can have a hard shell sometimes. I can stand up for myself. I will cry whilst I'm telling you it.
I think I would just cry.
I'll say what I need to say, but I'll be crying whilst I say it. Like, facts.
I'll be crying with everyone in your boxing classes.
Oh,
because girl, I know you make them cry.
Actually, a friend of mine who has become my best friend, one of my best friends, is through me making her cry in a cool down.
No.
Literally. And you actually should get her on the podcast because she's unreal. She is a very talented musician, cellist.
Cellist? I'm intrigued.
I'm going to play you her song at the end. In fact, I'm going to plug it. Everyone go and stream Tezaro, Love Me. So she came into my class. She works at Catch, the restaurant across the street. In fact, we should go for a drink there after this.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. So she works at Catch. Catch and Rumble have a really good relationship. And she came into class. And in my cool down, I will often talk about things that are kind of personal and like how, boxing can be therapeutic and, about like the things we're talking about right now, showing up for yourself, all these things. And I was dropping some motivational nuggets. And she came out at the end and she was crying. And she was like, I'm going through some shit right now. And like, I just needed to hear that. We ended up getting a salad together afterwards. And at one point, I just was like, did we just become best friends? So yes, I made her cry in the cool down. And actually that song that I just mentioned, one day she texted me, she's a musician, and she said, I feel like I need to like get into the studio, but I'm just like, I'm feeling heartbroken with XYZ, everything that's going on with this breakup that she was going through. And I was like, get your ass to the studio. It's a creative outlet. You're going to feel great for it. And I woke up at 2 a.m. to a text saying something along the lines of whelp, which was an unusual word. Whelp, I wrote a song inspired by you or with you in mind, and like now it's our anthem. And the song is literally about what we're talking about now. It's about loving yourself and about how it's your season to love you, because that is where you get there's no other feeling like it.
Girl, I need to hear it.
No, it's so good. I
need to freaking hear it.
Like, it is so good.
On this note, I have to say, there is nobody like your friends and your girlfriends. Mm-hmm. There's just nobody like that.
No.
The true...
It's my family.
Ride or dies. They bring... I mean, I can speak for myself. They bring so much joy. But especially if you're going through a breakup, a separation, or something like that, there's nobody that has your back.
Those bitches will stand up for you. Some of them won't. And that's when you realize, but some of them really will.
No, but when you really realize the ones you have, it means the world. Mm-hmm. It means the world. And the amount of joy, just a text from your girlfriend.
Facts.
No boyfriend could ever.
Oh, no. My girlfriends are my soulmates.
Girl.
Like, my absolute queens.
Nothing against boyfriends.
No. I mean, I don't want one right now, but...
That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying it hits a little different.
Oh, it's totally different.
It just fills me with a lot of gratitude for having cultivated good people.
Yeah. Good female energy.
Yes.
Yeah, girls need girls, I think, for sure.
We do. I think it's funny to be in this world of beauty, in this world of fitness, where a lot of times it can turn really competitive and it can turn catty. I've never been in a gym environment, but I think it's probably similar to being in a salon environment where it's about your looks and it's about your talent, and you use both of those as an outlet to sort of make yourself shine. Mm-hmm. It can turn competitive, and I think even in a healthy way it could be competitive. But how do you generally, in your world, because for me personally, I find that just being open to, and this is my personal view, I don't know that anyone else shares this, but being open to the realization that like we're all of different ages, different walks of life, we're all trying to like be our best and shine our best. That helps me have the most elevated space in the salon environments that I am. And I'm always looking to be more professional, but how do you feel like that translates in the fitness world?
I think, I have been very... I don't want to say lucky. I think I have chosen to only put myself in spaces that I feel kind of represent the same ethos that I have, that fitness should be inclusive. Fitness should not be intimidating. Fitness should be, you can come to my class if you're 75 or if you're 15. You should come to my class if you're underweight, overweight, brand new to fitness, or a professional boxer. And I have chosen to only work with brands that I feel reflect that. But I also know from being in the industry for a decade that not every gym or space has that ethos. I have walked into classes myself as someone who I'm a trainer, I'm in shape. I am no longer in, the girl who eats chicken and broccoli and does sprints 58 times a week to have a thigh gap. I literally have had cinnamon rolls all day. That is all I've eaten today. This is the only thing I've eaten. It's leftover from Friendsgiving. I had it for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks today. That's the only food I've eaten, right? So, like, I have gone into spaces as a trainer where I have felt intimidated by the trainer or felt, you know, that it's unwelcoming or, you know, like, oh, you're
not good enough.
You're not good enough, yeah. And I think like I said, I've chosen to work. I used to work for an amazing brand called One Rebel in London, which I felt really reflected that and tried to be inclusive and friendly and warm and wholesome. And they, like, on a Friday after class, it was free Prosecco after class. Like, it was about balance and, like, just everyone just being involved. And Rumble, I feel, has the same ethos. It's like, you know, I literally have one guy who comes in with his mum who's in her 70s, who's a vibe.
Oh my God, that's cute.
And I also have, you know, literal ex-professional athletes come into class. So I feel like when it comes to the inclusivity in fitness, it's about, for me, has been about choosing the right space. Because I don't want to be a part of any space that doesn't make someone feel included, no matter what.
That's great awareness.
Yeah.
That's great awareness. Because I think beginning, you don't always understand that where you pick your work, the space, and the people in it, it's going to affect you and your clientele and your growth greatly.
And the kind of people that want to work for those brands are going to, you know, in general, be the kind of people that I want to spend time with. And
sure.
There is going to be less of that competitive ethos. Look,
I didn't know that.
I'm not saying it
when
doesn't
I chose
exist.
my first salon.
Yeah, of course.
I did it.
Of course.
I was like, I just need to find the most talented hairdressers to learn under. I'm going to Beverly Hills.
But like, no.
Girl, I had no idea what I was in. I had no idea. I was so
I have like literally.
I learned the best things.
Yeah, I'm sure you did. I've been lucky. I don't feel like I've worked anywhere where I've felt that. You know, that massive competitiveness,
sure.
Or, you know, you get it a little bit, but I mean, especially like at Rumble right now, like the girls who I work at Rumble with, they're all stunning. They're all beautiful girls.
Sure.
But like, if you look at Christina, who gets called Queen Peach, her body type in comparison to my other friend Emily, Queen Caffeine, we call her, they could not be more polar opposite. Am I looking at either of them and thinking, wow, Christina's got an ass, so she's better, or Emily's bodybuilder and she's X amount? So, like, no, it's about, like, just we love each other. We love, you know, the uniqueness of every single body type. And it doesn't feel that way with my fitness family. But that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Does not exist. Like, in LA, you know, like, I hear these stories and there's like, you know, this skinny crew and then there's the big ass crew and like everyone's judging everyone and everyone's doing all different things and like, but it's not what I want to represent or ever be involved in. I want every single body shape type. Like I said, I spent years starving myself and trying to get a thigh gap. I train 6 days a week. I eat a healthy diet. This is the way I'm meant to look. Like, I don't want a fucking thigh gap. You know?
Speaking of big booty crews, I'm
in the big booty crew.
How are the trends? How are the trends in a place like London versus America, right? Like the UK, London. How do the trends differ from each other, or are they really similar? Because I feel like we've gotten into this era where you are put in a category of beauty. I'm not a proponent of this, but it's something that you see all over social media.
We talked about this.
Yes.
We did talk about this.
It's something that lives in even the way we talk. It's like, I am the skinny girl, right? I am the big booty girl or whatever. And I think that in advertising, a lot of times when it comes to fitness, there's like, this workout gives you this body type, right?
Yeah. And I feel like it's the same even with like certain brands. Like certain brands will...
Clothing brands?
Like, yeah, fitness apparel brands. Like certain brands, like their Instagram will be all the girls with that like big ass look.
Oh my God, that's so true.
Or there will be other brands that is like all
Pilates girls.
literally what I was gonna say, yeah, all like Pilates girls who are like rake thin. It's like,
Yes.
shouldn't you be showing both? Like,
Yes.
just because I'm like the Pilates skinny girl doesn't have a big ass doesn't mean she doesn't want to wear the bodysuit with the little crinkly butt thing. Why can't she? Show all body types in all different apparels. Like, you know, I see that a lot.
I don't know if whoever is behind the casting for the models, I would love to know that process. I don't know what they're thinking. I would love to know.
It's just like, let's get only girls with big asses. It's like, well, then you're narrowing down who's going to buy your product if that's all they see. Because then the girls who are more petite are going to be like, oh, I can't wear that. I don't have a big enough butt.
Or it doesn't even get to them. It doesn't even get on their discover page.
Yeah, literally.
They like don't know it exists.
But going back to like trends in the UK to here, honestly, look, I've been here nearly 5 years now, so I don't know the answer to that too much. I do know that before I left, it was like everyone just wanted to be a skinny little thing. But I don't know if that's as apparent now.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know if it's as apparent now.
I feel like that wave is just hitting us back here. It's like everyone again wants to be.
How's about like we all just kind of accept how we're built? Like, look,
Don't scare the listeners.
I know, don't scare them
Don't
away.
scare them away.
But like, look,
God
do I
damn it.
have moments where I'm like, oh, I want to be leaner, or oh, I want to feel like this? Yes, I'm a human being. Am I ever now in my life going to try and change the way my body is naturally meant to be built?
Listen,
no.
Listen, we're gonna get straight into like the mental versus physical journey with this conversation. Mm-hmm. Because you're describing the existence part of fitness.
Mm-hmm. I feel like
not wanting to be a trend, but wanting to have an experience of being strong or of being.
And I feel like that is, I mean, every time I sign up a new client, I have my same little spiel that I do. I'll meet the client, I'll say, okay, tell me your goals. Every single one of them will tell me something to do with the way they look. I want to lose weight. Oh, my arms are a bit this. Oh, I feel like this. And every single time they'll say it, and I'll say, okay, now tell me something that has absolutely nothing to do with the way you look. And it's always the same reaction. Like, okay, like people are obsessed with achieving a certain shape, a certain size. But actually, if you then say, oh, well, I want to feel like stronger, like I have a better cardio to run around with my kids, or I want to be able to do a push-up, or, you know, I had one client say to me, like, I actually just went through a really fucking horrible divorce, and I just want to feel confident and happy. If you then focus in on your athletic or your mental goal, I promise you, as with every single client, when you're focusing on like, yes, I want to get a push-up, yes, I want to do this, yes, I want to feel badass, you're going to put so much into it in a different way.
Yeah.
And you will then look in the mirror and go, oh my God, Robs, like, I'm going to just send you a picture because like, I feel like I'm looking fly. And it's like, yeah, you are, but I'm not going to weigh you every 2 minutes to do that. I'm not going to tell you not to eat a pizza or a cookie or things that bring you joy. But when you're trying to like so hard to like, I just want to lose weight, I just want to do this, you end up restricting and binging. I've done it my whole goddamn life, I know. You end up putting so much pressure on yourself, like life just becomes not fun.
Yeah.
Whereas if you are training because you want to be physically stronger for whatever reason that may be, and you also want to be happier, more confident, you want to feel free in your mind and your life and get those endorphins, then how exciting. That means training and working out is a reward. It's not a punishment. Mm-hmm. Like, if you're training because like, oh my God, I'm training because like I need to lose weight, that you're punishing yourself. Moving your body is a joy. It is a privilege. It is a great thing.
When you described I need to lose weight, I need to do this, I was holding my breath the whole time. And then the minute you started saying things like, I want to feel amazing and confident after my divorce, or I want to run around and do cardio with my kids, I was like immediately like, a sigh of freaking relief.
Exactly. And like, I've not had one client who hasn't then told me that they have dropped a dress size or, like all these other things, which, yes, it's a fucking bonus. Of course it is. But if you put so much pressure on that, and I spent so many years doing it, it becomes unhealthy. You start to view exercise in like such a detrimental way. But like, how lucky are we to be able to...
You wouldn't have wanted to know my experience. I never worked out until I moved here. I never went to a fitness class in my life, okay? And get ready, because...
I'm a bated breath.
Bait your breath, babe. Bait it. Because I started working in the salon and everyone is very, especially in Beverly Hills, they're very conscious of how they look, how you dress, your body, right? Mm-hmm. Sounds like ridiculous that a hairdresser would be so conscious of their body, but at this level, a lot of people are really focused on how they look, down to the
Baby, it's not just in hairdressing, it's not just in LA, it's the world, like...
Absolutely.
Everyone feels like they don't look good enough.
Although here we are the capital of vanity.
Oh, facts.
And the salon is the White House of the capital of vanity, okay? So I start, exploring with like my assistant friends or this and that, all these like super trendy workouts, okay? Like Barry's Boot Camp, that was a super popular one.
Yeah.
Yoga I actually liked, but we were going to like, all the spinning classes, all the weight classes. And first of all, I didn't realize like you have to have the outfit. Like you have to look absolutely
it's like
correct.
You got to be decked up in the cute, like Lulu.
Yes, you do.
Facts.
I was like, let me go shopping real quick. I'll be right back. I literally, I dreaded doing these workouts. It did absolutely nothing for me except like stress me out. It stressed me out. I couldn't recover from them. So I was like extremely like puffy all the time because I was doing these workouts that were not really right for me. And I had no idea how to like do the aftercare necessary if you're doing like that incredible amount of weights like from nothing.
Yeah.
And
there was definitely like a time where it was like, I have to go to like 5 Barry's a week. I have to do this.
Yes.
It's like, no, guys, we don't have to do that.
That was my entrance?
We don't have to do that.
That was my entrance?
Yeah, we don't have to do that.
I'm happy to have like started working out regularly and have built that habit, and I credit being in this city with doing that. But it was like this crazy experience of like force.
Yeah.
And, over time, especially honestly getting a trainer is one of the most like, the first time I ever had someone like personal train me, I was like, whoa, I've been doing everything really haphazardly.
I'm a trainer. I know what I'm doing.
Yes.
And I pay for a trainer. Literally, I pay my trainer. I train with, we've just gone up to 4 times a week. It's an investment in yourself.
Yes.
It's an investment in being pushed physically, in being pushed mentally. People are like, why are you paying to like do strength workouts? You know how to do them. Yes, I do. I do know what I'm doing, but I'm going to be educating myself. I'm going to be inspired. I'm going to be pushed to like, of course I'm going to be pushed harder.
The inspiration is huge.
And that shit's like, it's not cheap. I get it. When people say it to me, they're like, oh, you're not cheap. I'm like, would you go to dinner and end up spending $250 like on a fancy dinner on a weekend? Yep, and drinks. Would you go and buy a new iPhone for $1,000? Like, this is like your body is your real estate
vehicle.
It's literally your real estate. Like the only real estate you'll ever truly own is yours. Like you gotta build those bricks, baby, and you gotta keep that cement glued up. Otherwise your house will fall down.
I hear that.
It's like it's an investment. I will always continue to invest in having a healthy body as well as a healthy mind.
Talk to me a little bit more about when you realized the mental affected the physical so much and it was like this dance between them.
That's an interesting one because it has been a big journey in my life. I spent a long time, even when I first got into the industry, kind of preaching about loving your body, but really fucking hating mine, and not eating, punishing myself for eating. I was at one point 105 pounds and I'm, you know, like rake thin. And I guess like when I started this kind of like self-love growth journey, which is like so LA of me to keep talking about, but that I started when I went through my breakup, I started to kind of connect the dots with the things that I was saying out loud and actually listening to them myself. And
oh my God, wow.
You know, being like, actually, no, carbs are not the enemy. And this is your way of controlling other pains. And actually, no, you are a baddie. Like, you know, I started like, I was going to therapy and, you know, talking about all these ways that I would like punish myself when it came to food, when it came to exercise, when it came to like just really guilt tripping myself and being like kind of horrible to myself about the way I looked. And I just had this moment where I was like, you're not being genuine right now in the things that you're saying to your clients and the things that you've been saying in classes about like, love your body, like, you know, like you're actually not doing it yourself. Like, get with it. Like, pull yourself out of this shit because you deserve what you're telling everyone else they deserve. And I do deserve that. I do deserve to go and eat my cinnamon roll, breakfast, lunch and dinner the day after a Friendsgiving and not feel like shit about it. Like, I do deserve that. I do deserve to look in the mirror when I've gained a few pounds after a vacation and be like, do you know what? You're still beautiful. Rather than looking in the mirror and saying things that I wouldn't even say to my worst enemy.
Wow.
I deserve that. And I just had a moment where I was like, you know, I started going to therapy. I knew that I just wanted to like be the best version of myself and really grow and be a real individual. And I thought, if I'm, you know, setting these boundaries and I'm, you know, turning off this people pleaser thing, then it's time to be genuine with myself too and start to practice what I preach.
You literally put a mental muscle into place and you exercise it constantly.
It's not been an easy journey.
No.
For sure. Like,
no, and that's what I want to bring attention to because the way that you say it, it's like easy breezy. And I know that's not.
Oh no.
That takes so much grit, determination, and self-love to herd all the little parts of yourself into coherence with this goal. That is not easy. And you're saying it like it's easy to say, girl.
It's definitely not easy. I remember saying to my therapist in a session that I feel like I think about the way I look or that I'm too fat or that I don't deserve to eat every 3 minutes. I remember thinking like at least every 3 minutes I'm thinking these things or these like detrimental thoughts. And I was like, wow, what a waste of my life. Like, that is so boring. Like, I am so bored of that. But look, it is...
I love it.
I
love being bored.
It's just like, oh my God, I'm boring myself. Like...
when boredom is good for you.
Just like, life is so beautiful and you're thinking about the fact that you ate...
yes.
however many calories. Like, what a fucking bore, man.
Love it. You know, some people never get to the point where they're bored of their own bullshit.
Oh, I was so bored of my own bullshit.
It's a beautiful thing.
And like, it took me stepping out of my relationship, realizing that I hadn't been putting my thoughts first, realizing all these things that I was just like, do you know what? Life is really short, but it's also really beautiful. And you are going to miss out on it if you don't flip your narrative with the way you look at yourself. And it is not easy. And I will tell you this, that the biggest growth I have seen in seeing beauty in myself has been through having uncomfortable conversations with myself, journaling different things, listening to a fuck ton of podcasts, meditating, talking to friends, all these things. And it's not been an easy journey. And it's, you know, growth is never ending.
Never ending.
But to anyone who's listening to this podcast and they're like, thinking about how like hard they are on the way they look, or they're not good enough, or all these things. I'm not saying it's easy, but stop that bullshit stop that bullshit right now. You are a beautiful person and you can find the beauty within yourself, but you got to dig yourself out. Life is too short to look in the mirror and be like, oh, I'm not good enough. Nah, bitch, you're great.
Yeah.
Like, you have to do that.
You have to do it.
You have to. Because otherwise you are just going to wither your life away thinking that you are not good enough, not strong enough, not like X, Y, Z.
And looking
any
for
of
it
these things.
in someone else. Looking for someone else to give you the validation that you actually want from you. Because to be honest,
I was the queen of needing validation, and I'm not gonna lie, I still need it a little bit sometimes. Like it's not, it's
nice,
not done,
but it's never as good as when it comes from you.
And that's what Taylor's song is about.
Which one?
The song that she wrote about self-love.
Which one?
Literally, the lyric is, oh no, not that Taylor, my Taylor.
Okay.
I'm like, which one? I'm like, the only one she wrote.
Which Taylor?
What is the lyric?
Not which Taylor Swift song.
She said, I think the lyric is, you'll, fuck, I can't remember it.
We're going to listen to it. So
We'll listen to it. But it's just something like, you'll never get this feeling anywhere else. And you won't.
No.
You will never get the feeling of standing in front of the mirror or having the conversation in your head where you're like, do you know what? I'm actually pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
And someone can tell you, but you never, like, you know, you're never going to feel that of just being like, no, actually, like, I'm kind of a badass. Like, that is a great feeling. And I didn't do it for decades. So now it feels good. Yeah. It feels good.
You know, it's funny. It's funny because I love meditating. I love all of the internal work, and I really always have. It's a big part of sitting in the salon chair. I think anyone who's connected with their stylist, you notice like how you open up. There's like things that come out in conversations that you have.
Oh, the stuff that I say with my hairdresser is actually
wonderful.
You know.
Right?
We go to town.
We go to town, and it's great. And you know, that it's always been very interesting for me. And so the meditating and the journaling and the this and that has always been a huge thing for me. What I've found is that it really only takes you so far before actually getting into movement is super necessary. And it's funny to think of movement as some kind of like, I don't want to say spiritual work, but kind of like inner
100%.
work. Yeah, but there's a point where it's like, okay, I've sat and meditated. Like, I better, like I actually have to go move to sort of like continue
because I think
this.
it releases different chemicals. You know, like with, you know, I'm sure when you're in a meditative state, you're still going to have feelings of dopamine, you know, but are you going to feel like have a rush of endorphins? No, like there's lots of different happy chemicals. And I think different things can come from being in a still state to when you're moving.
I never thought of it. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah, the different chemicals are released in the body when you are moving to when you are still. So we kind of need all of it.
Yeah.
We kind of need a little bit of all those things.
Absolutely.
And like when you become a fitness junkie, sitting still becomes hard.
Then you probably need to sit still a little bit.
Exactly. So like you're saying you love your meditation and your stillness, but like you're not necessarily like a big fitness working out person. I find it hard to sit still, but we need all of those things.
I have to not push myself, but I have to be very determined and say like, go for that hike. And I do it regularly because when I know that it's the actual self-loving thing to do, sometimes it's the hard thing and the thing you don't want to do, I will do it. And it's just funny how leading up to it, honestly, it's like, I don't want to. And I like throw a giant temper tantrum. And then I go and I'm like, this is the best. I love it.
Yeah.
It's so good.
I feel like it's the most cliche thing that you hear every fitness trainer say, but it is real. When have you ever regretted a workout? Like when
a few berries.
But like, when do you ever go and move your body and be like, oh, really wish I hadn't done that.
No.
You're always like, I'm so glad I did it. I
Yes.
did my friend went, I went to my friend's panel the other day and he talked about this. Like, you're like, oh, should have gone. Like, shouldn't be sat here at home. Like, I should have gone to that workout. Like, oh God, like, maybe I should have gone. Like, you go over it in your head and you guilt trip yourself that you didn't go. Whereas when you go, you're like, oh, I'm so glad I did that. I'm like, so glad I moved.
And then on top of not going, you're also mentally exhausted from all of the mind.
Facts. I feel like I'm the opposite. I'm like, I find it really hard to sit still. And sometimes I need to sit still and do some more of the brain work. Like, I do the brain work, but I'm not still.
I hear you.
Like, I do my therapy and like, I do think, but like, sometimes I need to just like be completely on my own. No music, no nothing, no like just actually with my own thoughts. And that's something that I found hard with like the growth journey. Like
Final boss.
Yeah.
Final boss. Feel your feelings.
Feel your feelings, Bill. That was my American accent. See, look, I'm doing it now the other way around. We were talking about how annoying it is when people do my English accent.
I'm at a good place.
I can only really do like the Valley Girl vibe. Like,
hi guys.
like, oh my God.
I like it. I'm into it. I think it's hot. So I think one, fleshing out this episode, you talked a little bit about being the girl at the thigh gap. Like, and I think that there's this funny question of like, what's the next thigh gap? It's always like we're chasing this like next ideal of a body, and at the same time, we're starting to bring more representation into the world, right?
Yeah.
We're starting to see different bodies, and there's like a clash of two worlds of the world of like every single crew that's out there of every trend, body, fitness, aesthetic, fashion, whatever, right? And sometimes you're getting there medically, not just like fitness wise. And then you're starting to see more natural bodies kind of like pull through. But ultimately, inside of all of the melee of that, I still don't think that we have representation of, I guess, honestly, I don't want to make it sound so mid, but like mid-size or regular girl. Like, why don't we see that? And I don't, part of me is like, am I even describing it well? But I hope.
I know what you mean. I mean, like,
I hope you hear what I'm saying, that it's,
yeah, you're like, it's either
the girl next door, that like really, truly the girl next door. I don't feel like we've ever seen her. Bring her out.
You feel like it's either a size 0 or a size 16 is what you're saying?
Pretty much.
I feel like I understand that, and I feel like there is...
I want to see her on Times Square.
Yeah, I get it. I feel like there is definitely like this thing with, apparel, beauty, fitness, where companies feel like a pressure to show very different body types.
Yeah, but I'm over pressure. I'm here for celebration only.
Yeah, totally. And I feel like maybe that's why they do it. I don't know. But yeah, I agree. I feel like
I can feel the pressure. I can feel when the ad is pressured.
Yeah,
We've
totally.
seen so many campaigns, and now we're so inundated with social media. Our eyes are attuned to photos. We can tell when you are pressured.
Yeah, totally.
Because it doesn't feel like a vibe at all.
I feel like, I think I spoke to you about this recently. I feel like one brand that I saw was doing it really well. Did you go on the Good American website after we talked about it? Were they doing what I said?
There were a few, where you could flip through and like see the different models.
Good American do where like it'll be the boyfriend jean, and you can go and look at the same pair of jeans in a variance of different sizes on a different model.
Skims
all
does
the
it.
way. Yeah, Skims does it too.
Yeah.
See, like, look, the Kardashians, I gotta be honest, I do feel like they kind of nail it with some stuff.
Yeah.
But also, they stress me out, but they do.
Because they themselves are not of that.
Well, totally, but then, like
acceptance.
I don't know if I would be if I was, like, a multi-millionaire who was getting picked apart by every single, like, person on social media and press, and I think I would probably lose my mind and get a BBL and have all the things done. I don't know, like, but I do think
it's hard to know.
I would like.
You can't always. You can try to put yourself in someone's shoes, and you still don't know what.
No, because
what their
there's
walk
only
of
one
life is.
person who will ever wear your shoes, and it's you.
So you better be telling yourself that you're doing a good job.
Facts. No, Good American. They do. I think they do that well, and I would like to see more of that. Mm-hmm. Because it, like you said, there's a lot of companies, and you'll go on, and it will have show a pair of jeans that are usually on a girl who's a lot smaller than me, and then it'll be like, oh, look at the plus size, and there isn't kind of, the mid size. I would say. So I would like to see more of that for sure. I feel like everyone should include everyone. I think
it's include, and I think it's also expand, because we've started to do it, right? I don't mean to push this forward without acknowledging that, hey, we are starting to see more representation out there. I just think that we've set the extremes, and we're coming to center, right? I just think that it'd be wonderful to be in a space of beauty, both in, like, fitness, in hair and skin and all of that, where we could just breathe easier. Mm-hmm. And I think the more we find, and not just because we're pressured or, because it's trendy, but genuinely because, like, we're celebrating someone's beauty.
Yeah.
Right? And, like, yes, there's business behind that. Yes, there's everything that drives that. But I just think that for the collective of people who really enjoy beauty, and people who, maybe sometimes have to engage with beauty, maybe they don't want to, right? Like, some people don't love the industries, and that's fair. It's not everybody's cup of tea.
I love it all.
Oh, I love it.
Love
so
getting my
much.
makeup done. Love buying a cute outfit. Love going to the gym.
I love a photo shoot.
Oh, I love it. I just love it. I actually had a shoot today. It was really fun.
It's so fun.
Yeah, it's fun because you're celebrating what you look like.
But look, I want to acknowledge that not everybody loves it. It stresses some people out, and it brings up a lot of stuff for them.
Yeah.
It really, really does. And, like, that blow dry for graduation is, like, enough for a lifetime for some people. I swear. I just think overall, we could all breathe a lot easier. We could all find a way in the industry of creating a sense of inclusion. Mm-hmm. And
it's almost like what you're saying is you want the next trend to be that there is no trend.
Yes.
Oh, spitting bars.
Oh, she's spitting bars. That's exactly what
I would like the next trend to be no trend.
How did you know?
Oh my God, I just read your mind, Queen. We're
really,
on the
really
same
did.
wavelength.
You really did. I want everyone to wild out a little bit and not have to trend.
Yeah, facts.
Trending is out.
Just like...
Not trending is in.
Don't, like, a body size should not be a trend, because then people start to do unhealthy things to themselves to try and change their body type to be a certain type.
Be so much more creative.
Skin tones, yeah, like all these
things. We would
be
so much more creative if we threw the trends out. I just feel it, because there are so many amazing faces that sit down in the chair, right? Mm-hmm. That I'm like, nobody's ever seen a face like this. Like, this is incredible. And, different makeup, the way makeup could look on them. It doesn't always have to be the snatched look. We could create so much more by using different forms, different models.
Mm-hmm. No, I totally agree.
That's exciting to me. I want to be excited.
Well, for you, I mean, I'm not a makeup artist, but I imagine, like, each face that you see is like a makeup. You do. Or each,
but I'm obsessed with
either way, like
skin,
even with someone's face for hair.
Yes,
your creativity comes through that being it's not a blank canvas. It's a canvas that you have to work around. And like that is like, that must be like kind of exciting for you to see someone and be like, okay, well, I know this kind of, I don't know, a strawberry blonde hair. Like they're going to come in and say, I want to have ginger hair. And you're like, well, actually, I think with your complexion that this tone would look good. Or someone comes in and they're like, I want a smoky eye. And you're like, okay, like we'll do a smoky eye, but I want to create to the way you look. So like that's kind of when you're saying about creativity, I feel like you don't really have a blank canvas. You have a completely different face every time you're working. Not just even the face, not even just their complexion, but like their jawline, their cheekbone, their, you know, whatever. Like,
and not everyone's the same, which is why I get a little bit like, like a little bit like, I don't want to say let down, but because we're all trying to fit this like perfectly snatched like mold that I think lives on social media, and now we've sort of taken it outside and we're using like all the tools possible to look like this filtered version of ourselves. It's like, you know what? Not every filter looks the same on every like person.
Yeah.
And we could change the filters instead of letting the filters change us. But it's a matter of letting that uniqueness come out and live and play with like what we have available. Because look, I don't have anything against really what you want to do, either, you know, like in the like medical beauty world or in the fitness beauty world.
Oh, I'm a queen of Botox and I won't
play.
I won't even lie about it.
Trying to like put everyone's face in this one singular mold, or like, it's just,
yeah, I totally get what you're saying.
It just feels like too constrictive on the creativity that's possible.
Yeah. Like if there wasn't so much, you know, like the trend of like the contour at the moment, or the trend of, I don't know, whatever the hair trends are. If there wasn't so much of that, people would maybe.
But here's why we
find their own. I'm trying to think of the word to describe it, but their own
expression.
Yeah, in their look.
But look, we're all trying to look, whether we are making money on social media or not making money, or we're a company or whatever we're selling. I think we get really caught into this loop because we're all trying to like get on the trend, right? Like we're all trying to get the most views or get the most attention. It's like we're chasing.
Filters are the devil, because when you see your face with I have tried to do a filter detox recently.
A filter detox?
Because like
you know what? I'm writing that down because that's the name of this episode right now.
Like a filter detox, like it's like you post yourself with a filter and then you like see your actual face and you're like, oh my God, people are going to like think I don't know, like I don't look cute or whatever. But sometimes you just want a filter on your face when you're hungover and you're laying in bed eating a croissant and talking to the camera, like, do you know what I mean? Or like a big day.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
But also I think like you get so used to having them on your face that then you're like, you don't want to.
As long as you know who you are, you're good.
I think I'm cute in real life.
I know, but you have to balance it out, and you do need to detox occasionally.
But like I did it recently. I was like, I am not using filters. Like that is it. It's just like it creates such an unrealistic thing. I also like this. This sounds like I'm being a bitch. Maybe I kind of am. But have you like ever met someone who you've seen on social media and be like, oh, you like don't look the same as you do on social media? And I don't want people to say that about me.
That's so funny.
But you have done it, right? Especially in LA. Like,
of course.
You met people and you're like, oh, you don't... And it doesn't mean they look bad.
No.
They just don't look like this...
I don't mind...
filtered version that you've seen all over Instagram, or like face-tuned version. And I don't want people to meet me and be like, you don't look the same. I want people to think that I am a real... badass bitch that I am on Instagram and that I am off Instagram.
Sure. I don't care personally, like if you don't, but it does surprise me. You know, there are times where you're like, oh,
yeah, like it doesn't matter so much, but I personally don't want people to see me and be like,
I know, because it's a funny feeling. It's kind of like,
oh, you don't really look like that.
It would almost feel like you got caught with your pants down.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, I get it.
I have been caught with my pants down before.
We recover. I swear.
But that's a whole other podcast. That can be in the X-rated version, like over 21s only.
Pants down. Where do we go from here?
Rob's got caught with her pants down. You know, it happens to the best of us.
Look, you can't make every moment cute.
I'm not sending this to my dad now. I was gonna, but
You can't make everything cute
no, you can't.
or dad friendly.
Definitely, my life is not dad friendly, to be honest.
Whose is?
Yeah, good point, actually.
You never know, even if it looks like it is on the outside.
Yeah, good point. No, my life is definitely not dad friendly.
Aw.
I give him a filtered version.
Aw.
I think he'd still be proud of my non-dad friendly life. Like, he'll say things to me like, I know when not to ask questions. I'm like,
Oh my
"Good."
god, he's the sweetest.
He is the sweetest.
I have the sweetest dad too.
I'm a massive daddy's girl, actually. Massive.
Oh man, I love my dad. Shout out to dad.
Shout out to dads, yeah,
out to
for
dads.
putting up with daughters.
For putting up with
and their
daughters.
beauty ideals.
And making us strong. I actually feel like I have so much strength from my dad.
I have a lot of strength from my dad, too.
He was a bodybuilder in Austria.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There's all these crazy photos of him in the gym, just yoked.
I am
His lats were like, out.
He's like real life Arnie
You
Schwarzenegger.
should have seen, bro. I was like,
My
okay.
dad is like
And I call him Tato,
not
like in
like
Polish,
that.
dad.
You do?
Yeah.
Yeah, my dad actually texted me saying I love you from Tata yesterday.
Oh my god.
No, my dad is definitely not a bodybuilder, but he's like a badass.
Yeah.
He like has one leg from one accident and no toes from the other accident, and like
Whoa.
will just be like, he's like 75 and still is like on business sites running around. Like, he's like the definition of badass.
That's the most Polish thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, literally.
Girl.
No, literally. That is
You're unstoppable.
exactly.
Unstoppable
Like,
attitude.
I actually told my dad when I was on crutches last year, I was like, oh, I'm like still teaching classes and I'm like just doing burpees on one leg. And he's like, oh, that reminds me of this story. You know, I was camping with my friends in the forest and it was when I had a prosthetic leg from the 50s. You can imagine how bad they are. He was like, it was really hot. I didn't want to wear it. And all my friends went off to go to this swimming hole. And I was like, oh, it's too much with my leg. And then they all went and he said, I just thought, actually, fuck this, I'm going to this hole. So he went, so I hopped for a mile to go swimming. I'm like, and then I told my friend and my coach and he went, I feel like I understand you a little bit more right now just after that. So I hopped through the woods for a mile.
I can't.
Casual, as you do. Like,
Casual with a smile and a good attitude.
what? I hopped through the woods. Okay, Dad. Like he was like, maybe this
Girl,
is
that's
why.
my inspiration
Yeah.
for the week. If anything's hard, I'm gonna be like,
Yeah,
but
like-
did you hop for
I'm
a
like,
mile?
did you hop through the fucking woods for a
But
swim?
did you hop for
Like,
a mile?
out of choice. Like, come on. But I feel like that is probably where I got my work ethic from. So like,
I'm filled with a lot of love
shout
for my
out to
dad.
Papa Z for
Seriously.
for hopping through the woods for a mile for a swim with his
Seriously.
mates
Fucking
when he was
word.
about 16.
Girl, that's the best.
Yeah, I know. We gotta love him.
Listen, we're gonna end this episode on a question of everything
Oh.
you have learned up to this point. If you could go back in time and talk to 12-year-old Robyn,
Oh God, now you're really gonna make me cry.
what would you tell her?
There's a long pause here because I feel like that is an important one. Oh, I actually will cry. I would say to her, focus more on the beauty that you have within your soul and your heart than on the outside, because it truly is going to bring happiness to so many people if you let it shine and you accept yourself.
That's gorgeous.
Thanks. I didn't cry, but I am welling up a little bit.
Do you know what? I'm proud of that. I'm proud that there was more joy than tears.
Can I ask you what yours would be?
Oh!
Oh,
turned it around.
around,
Nobody turned it around on me.
Yeah.
Girl.
I like to get to know people. See, I'm a people person.
Reverse. Okay. I will be happy to tell you. Let me see. Since I haven't answered this question. Let's see. Eva now would go back and tell 12-year-old Eva. You are always going to have your back.
Oh, I love it. You are always going to have your back.
Yeah.
And I am too. I'm going to have your back too.
I love
Proud
that.
of you. That was a good one.
Thanks.
It's a really good one.
Thanks.
Oh, look at us digging deep
I love it.
into our inner child.
You know?
On a Sunday night off one tequila shot.
You know, you talk to more and more people and off one tequila shot. You realize that people in their 50s and their 60s and their 90s, they look in the mirror and they still see someone in their 20s.
Mm-hmm. You know, my dad actually on his 70th birthday, and I tell this story all the time, during his speech, he said, everyone keeps asking me, how does it feel to be 70? And he said, I still really feel like I'm 21. He was like, but I think that's because I choose to.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I guess we can always tap into those parts of ourselves.
Yeah.
We can always send love to those parts of ourselves. Mm-hmm. And in a strange way, it's like what exists for you can be useful all the time. And it's not from outside of you. It's inside.
Yeah, that's facts.
Yeah.
Youth and beauty can always shine if you choose it to.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And here, we do choose it to.
We do.
On the Beauty Ritual Podcast. Thank you for tuning in. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification button. Please tune in. We love it when you do. You can find us on Reddit, the dark web, Alibaba. What other new websites are there? X?
I don't know.
Twitter.
I don't know any of them. But I'm going to sign up to all of them now.
Listen, okay, mostly Spotify and YouTube, okay? Spotify and YouTube, please subscribe. We love it. Thank you. We'll see you next time. Thank you for listening. Mwah. Bye. Wait, we need to plug your socials. I didn't plug the socials.
Oh, yeah,
I didn't plug the socials. Okay, plug the socials because you can't all be about me.
And please come see me at Rumble Boxing for a boxing workout, personal training in LA, or just come hang out with me on my IG. It's Ginger, like this beautiful head of hair. Ginger Fitness Living. I would love to get to know you guys.
Bye.
Peace.